Well, for more on the phenomenon that is Pokemon Go, I'm joined by Kieng IV. Kieng is a Pokemon Go player and coach. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. The 2019 Pokemon World Championship kicked off.
Yes, and I see that it kicked off. You played a tournament Friday morning, and clearly it worked very well. So,
yes.
So tell us how it went and what you're hoping to get out of this championship.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So to be clear, it was an invitational. So we had 8 influential people come join this tournament, from content creators, YouTubers, to Game Freak, the developers of the main series game, come participate in a best of 5 double elimination tournament. And it went really well, and it was a really great way to showcase Pokemon Go player versus player, the battle portion of Pokemon Go, which is the first time it's been really at this big of a stage.
So how does interest and competitions around Pokemon compare to, say, some of these other big games like Fortnite?
Oh, certainly it's still at very much the beginning stages. And for Pokemon in general, compared to Fortnite and like League of Legends, Pokemon, most people that play Pokemon and Pokemon Go are more interested in collecting and, trying to, gotta catch them all type of thing. And a very small percentage of them are into the actual battle and player versus player or PvP component, while Fortnite and League of Legends are mostly focused about their actual competition. So slightly different market and approach, but certainly a growing perspective.
Now, clearly a 2019 champion now, but how did you get into this? What drew you to Pokemon?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. So I teach at the University of Waterloo, and I saw my students play the US version of the game because it was released 2 weeks before it was released in Canada, and I thought it was really interesting. And then when it was released in Canada, I played, went down to the local waterfront, and then since then I've been playing ever since.
So what is it like being a coach, and what is it like to actually try and train people on this?
Yeah, certainly. So through most of my coaching is through creating YouTube videos. So I walk them through different Pokemon that they should be using, different combination of Pokemon that really complement each other well, and then as well I respond to individual comments and people messaging me, and for a select few actually individually coach them by reviewing their videos or battle with them and try to give them advice on how to get better.
And what is it about the gameplay itself that's really drawing people in and really keeping them in 3 years later?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple aspects to it. I think there's a lot of simplicity in the game. So people from very young to very old can play it. And then as well, it helps with that simplicity and the huge demographic that plays it. You get to meet all sorts of people that you otherwise wouldn't. So I think a lot of people develop really strong social connections. So you'll see people walking around all around DC and all around the world that you would never guess would have been friends.
Now, for some parents who are looking at this, they're pretty much just seeing their kids staring at their phones. Yeah. They may be concerned. How would you sort of explain this phenomenon in terms of like encouraging them to really understand all that is Pokemon? Yeah,
so I think Pokemon is a really great way to develop your social skills. So for many people, especially if they're quote-unquote gamers, they're a little bit more like introverted and maybe not as social. And Pokemon Go is a really great way to go and develop your social skills. And as well, it encourages you to go and explore your city, go and explore different places. And versus most traditional games, which I think are great too, mostly are done at home. This one, you're out and about, you're going to different parks, going to different cities, going to different parts of the world to collect exclusive Pokemon, and I think it's a really great way to facilitate those amazing experiences.
Now, what about the concerns that some, especially primarily parents, have about the game just being too addicting?
Yeah, no, certainly for some individuals that's certainly the case, but I think as long as you're monitoring and knowing what your kids are doing like any other activity, then I think you can certainly make it appropriate and very helpful for their healthy growing up.
Especially when you're not playing it on 8 different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much.
Now we know that beyond the cartoon and the games, there's the trading cards, there's the merchandise and the movies. Are there any spin-offs or anything that that are coming about that that are interesting that we should keep a lookout for?
Yeah, so I think that there's lots of like, especially Pokemon as a whole is really focusing on the mobile space. So I think there's a lot of really interesting mobile games that are coming out in the front. And there's a new version of the main series game that you play on the Nintendo Switch that's coming out very shortly. And there's certainly a lot of excitement for that. But certainly the Pokemon franchise is huge, but always constantly growing.
All right, great to talk to you. Champion there, Kieng IV, Pokemon Go player and coach.